For centuries, the once mighty vessels of Earth's interstellar navy had been abandoned. They had sailed the endless reaches of space, patrolling the void and ensuring humanity's security across distant galaxies. But as time passed, resources dwindled, and the need for such ships diminished. With the rise of advanced space stations and automated defense systems, the mighty warships and exploratory vessels were retired, left to drift in forgotten corners of the galaxy. Among these derelict ships was the Leviathan, an experimental space submarine designed to explore the deepest, darkest corners of space. Once a marvel of human engineering, the Leviathan was now a ghost ship. Its systems were offline, its crew long gone, and its purpose forgotten. For decades, it had drifted in an uncharted region of the galaxy, surrounded by a vast nebula that obscured it from all detection. The ship's fate had become a legend among the stars, an abandoned relic, lost to time. But the Leviathan wasn't alone in its isolation. A lone human, unknown to the galaxy, had discovered the ship. Dante Marshall was a scavenger, a former member of Earth's dwindling military forces who had fallen into obscurity. Disillusioned by the collapse of the Federation and the crumbling of Earth's once vibrant colonies, Dante had become a drifter, picking up whatever scraps of technology he could find in the abandoned ships and derelict space stations scattered across the universe. He lived off the things others had discarded, never expecting to find anything of real value. That is, until he stumbled upon the Leviathan. He had been drifting through the outer rim, searching for salvage, when the massive form of the Leviathan appeared before him. Its colossal silhouette, half hidden in the dense nebula, was an eerie sight, a ghost ship untouched by time but devoid of life. Curiosity gnawed at Dante. No one knew what had happened to the Leviathan, and the mystery surrounding it had made it a legend. His instincts told him this was no ordinary find. He had to board it. As he docked his small salvage ship onto the Leviathan, Dante was struck by the silence. The ship's massive hull had a cold, metallic sheen, and the air around it was still, almost unnatural. The entrance port hissed open as he activated the airlock, and with a deep breath, Dante stepped aboard. The interior of the Leviathan was vast, an endless expanse of dark hallways, chambers, and rooms that once served as the heart of the ship's operations. The control center, the engine room, the barracks, all lay silent, frozen in time. Dust and debris covered every surface, but everything was intact. The ship had been abandoned, yes, but it had not been destroyed. It was simply forgotten. Dante made his way to the control room, hoping to find some clues about the ship's last mission. As he approached the cockpit, the enormous central screen flickered to life. The ship's systems began to hum, responding to his presence. It was as if the Leviathan itself was waking up from a long slumber. The AI system, still functional after all these years, began to speak. "Welcome, Commander Marshall," it said, its voice deep and metallic, yet somehow familiar. "I am a Leviathan AI. How may I assist you?" Dante froze, his breath catching in his throat. The ship's AI should have been inactive, yet it had recognized him by name. How? His real name wasn't known by anyone anymore. He was just a shadow in the galaxy. But somehow, the ship had called him Commander Marshall. He stepped forward, his hand hesitating over the control panel. "What's going on? How do you know me?" The AI responded in a calm, almost mechanical tone. "You are the designated commander of this vessel. The Leviathan was designed for your leadership, and your mission has been awaiting your return." Dante's heart raced. This wasn't possible. He had never served on the Leviathan. He had never even heard of it before this moment. Yet here he was, somehow connected to the ship in a way he couldn't explain. The mystery only deepened. "Commander Marshall," the AI continued, there is something you must know. The Leviathan was not just a reconnaissance vessel. It was part of an experimental project designed to explore deep space anomalies. During its final mission, it encountered an anomaly, a dark energy source that the crew could not comprehend. That they made contact with it, the AI paused, as though processing painful memories. The crew disappeared. Only the Leviathan survived. Dante's mind raced. What was this dark energy source? What had happened to the crew? What had happened to the ship? And why did it recognize him as the commander? Before he could process any of these questions, the AI spoke again. Commander, there is something you need to see. Please follow the path to the central core. Dante followed the AI's instructions, his boots echoing through the dark, hollow hallways. He had no idea what he was walking into, but a sense of foreboding had settled in. As he approached the central core chamber, the doors slid open, revealing a massive room filled with the hum of power systems. At the center of the room was a containment chamber, holding something Dante couldn't immediately comprehend. Inside the chamber was a figure, a person but not human. It was suspended in some kind of fluid, connected to a web of cables and wires. The creature's skin shimmered with an iridescent glow, and its eyes were wide open, staring directly at Dante, as though it had been waiting for him all along. Dante's heart pounded in his chest. The figure inside the chamber looked vaguely human, but there was something distinctly alien about it. Its body was elongated, its features sharp and ethereal, yet there was a familiar aura about it. It looked like him, but it wasn't. Commander, this is the entity that the crew encountered, the AI explained. It is a being from beyond our dimension. It took the crew, but left behind one. You. You were not supposed to be here, but you were chosen. You are its heir. Dante stumbled backward, his mind reeling. He had been chosen? But why him? What was this creature? How was he connected to it? And why had it been waiting for him to return? Before he could ask any more questions, the AI spoke again. Commander, the anomaly is awakening again. The Leviathan must be activated to prevent its release. The crew is gone, but you have the power to stop it. The dark energy is connected to you. Dante's breath caught in his throat as the reality of the situation hit him. He was part of something far bigger than himself. The Leviathan had not only been a vessel of exploration, it had been part of an interdimensional experiment. The dark energy, the alien being, and even the ship's connection to him were all linked in ways he could not yet understand. With trembling hands, Dante made his decision. He activated the ship's systems, preparing to confront the anomaly that had consumed the crew. As the Leviathan's engines roared to life, Dante knew that what lay ahead would change the fate of humanity forever. The alien being inside the containment chamber reached out toward him, its eyes filled with an understanding beyond time and space. You are the key, it whispered, and only you can stop what is coming. Dante, now fully awakened to his connection with the Leviathan, steered the ship toward the heart of the anomaly. The ship surged forward, its immense power and ancient technology guiding them into the unknown. As they entered the dark rift, Dante understood that the future of not just Earth, but the entire universe lay in his hands. And as the rift closed behind them, he realized the true purpose of the Leviathan: to prevent the awakening of something far worse than the galaxy had ever known.